guys, hi, how's it going? How y'all doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I'm doing a full face of everything new, or mostly everything new. I think that the only things on my face right now that are not new is my liquid eyeliner, my tight liner, my brow gel. I think that's it. So all things new. That said, most of it is stuff that I picked up from the Sephora VIB sale. I know that I did not haul all that stuff in with you guys, but I wanted to make sure that you saw me using them because I know that we talked about my fantasy cart. I think that some of these products were stuff that I talked about in my fantasy cart, but there is some stuff in here that I didn't even mention in the fantasy cart. And just while I was going through things on the Sephora website, I decided that I needed to have it. I'm also using some tools that I talked about in my fantasy cart. There's only a couple of things that I purchased in that Sephora VIB sale that I don't use today, but for the most part, it's because I'm using a different item from the same category. I did also pull in a palette that was in my drawer of shame because I haven't used this and I didn't buy any palettes in the VIB sale, which is a shocker. But this is where we're at. This is what I was able to do with the products that I pulled in today. And I have to say, I'm pretty happy with how it all turned out right now. We will see at the end of the day how that goes. But I hope that sounds like something you're interested in watching. It does get a little bit rambly, even though we're here for the makeup today. So thank you guys so much. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high and colorful beauty and self-care. And ultimately, this is my self-care. I love coming out here, talking to you guys about all the beauty and bringing into my collection, all the beauty that's leaving my collection, the good, the bad, the ugly of all the things. I do a lot of Project Pan, a lot of reviews. Get ready with me is all the things. Basically, love to talk about makeup. And if you love to talk about makeup, you have found the right home because that is what we do here. I hope that at the end of the video, you find that you loved the video, you loved me, you loved all things, and you'll want to subscribe before you go. And if you do, please let me know down in the comment section. I would love to hear from you down there. I mean, it might take me a couple of days, but I still comment back to every single person that comments on my videos. And I would love to hear from you down in the comment section so I can welcome you personally or for any other reason. So let's roll into this video where we're trying out all these new things. So today we're doing a full face of all new things. A first impression, if you will. Most of this is things that I picked up from the Sephora VIB sale. I did think that I was going to pick other things up because I do have a $100 gift certificate left for Sephora, but I haven't used it yet. I need to use it before the end of the year because I'm really trying to be on a no buy next year. I think that that's what I really want to do. I really feel it in my soul. We will see. That said, I didn't spend that. So this is just all things that I picked up in the VIB sale. I did use a gift card during that, but I still have a $100 one left. It's mostly Westman Atelier because I watched Martina Lily do a Westman Atelier video and it intrigued me. I've also seen CHATTY review them. I've also seen so many people talk about Westman Atelier. That is what we're playing with today. There are a couple of things that I had to bring in because I didn't pick any eyeshadow palettes up. Like, who am I? So I did bring in this one. This is the Il Makiage Color Boss Squad Multi-Dimensional Eye Color Quad. And this was a birthday gift from my daughter. I do believe that she got it in an Ipsy, but she's 13. So she was like, here, Mom, happy birthday. Along with a Misha bronzer that I use. So I thought I'd use this. That'll get one more palette and my no palette left behind out of the way because I'll use all 4 of those shades today. I also didn't pick up a lip liner or an eyeliner. So I will be using my Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude lip liner because I think it goes well with the lipstick that I picked up. Again, who am I? Why did I pick up a lipstick? And the tattoo liner from KVD because it is just my go-to. And I will also be using my Lancome liquid pencil. that is in my project pan for my tight line. That said, that is what we're doing. Now all that stuff is out of the way. Everything else that I'll be using is new. I have a full face. For my lip product that I'm going to be putting on to like moisturize and hydrate my lips while we are putting on the makeup is going to be the Clarins Lip Comfort Oil in 25 Black. I've tried a lip comfort oil in the past. I do love them, but this one looked so fun. It is black. It shows up a little bit berry on your lips. Here's what I have to say. Do you guys see how low in the container this is? This is how it came. Like, is that weird? I feel like it's half gone already. And when I take the stopper out, it's like to here. So I think I'm going to take a picture of it and be like, yo, guys, why did you send me a lip oil that's half gone already? I mean, that's disappointing, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't have the wherewithal to send it back, and I think it kind of smells good. It smells like grapes. Maybe that's psychosomatic because it is purple. Who knows? It's more purple than it is black, let's be honest. Yeah, I don't see that it does anything spectacular for my lips. I am disappointed that it is like half gone already. I don't know what happened. It doesn't appear to have leaked in the cartridge, so I'm just not sure what happened with that, but it feels good. It feels like a lip oil. Did also purchase the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask and Eggnog, but I'm currently working through this Laneige and currently working through this Laneige, so I really didn't want to open up another one. I am intrigued by the smell, and I don't think it smells like anything. So I do have skincare on my face today. I do have the Clinique Step 2. This is a product I use all the time, and I really can tell the difference between how my makeup sits on my skin when I am not using it versus when I am. So that I use that every single day. I'm throwing everything. I also am using currently this IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Lines 1.5% hyaluronic acid, peptides, and B5 serum. It's about here. I have been using it for a little over a week now. I don't know that it's keeping my skin super hydrated, but it takes a little bit longer with skincare to realize like the effects of it. I'm also using this Bliss Bright Idea Vitamin C Tripeptide Collagen Protecting and Brightening Serum. My skin loves vitamin C. This one I've been using for about a month and we're down to here already. So I really do like that product. I can't say that it's my favorite vitamin C, but it is the vitamin C that I'm currently using. I typically do my eyes first. So that is where we're going to start. I feel like that is a good place to start. My eye primer is not going to be anything new either. I'm sorry. I'm just using the ABH eye primer that is also in my project pan because that is the eye primer that I have in use right now. And I don't think that these shimmers are going to require a glitter glue of any kind, so I will just stick with that one. Okay, this video is probably going to be more about the makeup and less about the chatties, so I will probably like fast forward through some sections. You likely saw me fast forward through that section a little bit, but I do want to talk to you about the makeup because it's the first impressions, right? All these things are new to me. We're going to go into this palette and it's going to be kind of a pinky look, right? With a brown outer corner and a like champagne-y like inner corner. So we know that to be true. What I remember most about the Il Makiage mattes is they're more satins than they are mattes in the feel of them. Like they're super creamy, but they're not super like shiny like some satins are. So I'm going to go into this pink one here and that's maybe the wrong brush for that. I think this one. This is a no-name brush. I'm just kidding. It is a Luxie brush. It looks like it is a large shader brush. I like to use these for like putting color into my crease before I blend out so that I can be really strategic with where I place them. But honestly, like this color is super light, so I'm not really sure that I needed to be so super strategic. But do you see? That barely shows up, and I have like a white eye base on. This is really pretty though. Oh, it builds nicely. The one thing that I will say about these Il Makiage eyeshadows is, you know, when I first discovered Il Makiage, it was because they were coming in beauty boxes, right? Like BoxyCharm or whatever. And you deem these brands like beauty box brands. But Il Makiage is a really, really great brand. Almost everything that I have used and experienced from them, I have loved. And I will say that their eyeshadows are really, really soft and honestly don't exacerbate any kind of texture or anything like that. So I would say that they're really, really great for mature eyes. And I'm 47 years old. I have dry, aging skin. And because my skin is dry, there is a little bit of texture to it, right? Because I have dry, flaky skin to some extent too. And my eyes are no different. Like my eyes get really, really irritated, especially like here in the inner portions of my eyes. And I think I have like maybe a touch of eczema on my eyelids, which wouldn't surprise me because I have eczema on my hands and my feet and my legs as well. But I do think that I have like a touch of eczema, especially on this eye right here in the like inner portions, because sometimes when I put certain things on my eyelids, they burn and or like won't necessarily go over the top of that area of my eye and or look really, really bad because there's an exacerbation of like the texture there because it's really super dry. But I feel like Il Makiage shadows are just really firmly pressed, but also so smooth and just go over anything and create like this canvas for other things to go on top of and build onto. I think just bottom line, it reminds me a little bit of like Natasha Denona shadows in that they are really, really kind to mature eyes. Next, I'm going to go into this brown and put that on the outer V and like build it into my crease. Do these have shade names? So sorry, this is kind of chaotic. I do believe that this one, the pink that I just used, is called Keep Rolling, and this one is called No Bullshit. Il Makiage, when I first tried them, I have a quad that I myself received in a BoxyCharm, and when I first tried them, it made me want to buy more from this brand, so I was really excited actually to get this for my daughter. Have you guys ever watched other people do their makeup in like a get ready with me or whatnot and notice like how they put on their makeup and the differences between how you apply or what order you apply your eyeshadow in or your makeup in, and then try and emulate it and it just turns out so badly. I was watching somebody, one of the small creators that I watch anyways, this mystery person put their eye makeup on and they started like in the center of their eye, center to inner corner first, then put on a shimmer, then put on the outer corner. I tried it the other day. Man, it looked like poop. Like I had been playing in my grandma's makeup. It looked bad. I don't know what it is about switching up your routine that just makes life hard sometimes. And just blend that all together. No extra shadow. This is going to be a very, very different Donna look because I don't normally go this like subdued. So you guys will have to tell me about your adventures in trying to do makeup differently because you watch somebody else do their makeup and were intrigued by how they do their makeup and wanted to try it yourself. I have a little bit of an eczema flare going on with this eye right now, and I think that This shadow went over the top of that really quite well. I mean, I think if you look closely, you can see that there's a little bit of texture going on here, but that's not the shadow's fault. That is specifically my eye. I need to break out. Have you guys ever tried, I mean, if you have eczema, have you ever tried Eczema Honey? It's a brand that you can pick up at Ulta Beauty, and I got it first at Leadership Conference. This is it. I keep a little bit of a bottle of it up here. This one is the body moisturizer. I don't really know what the difference is. I need to look it up. Probably I shouldn't be using this on my eye if it specifically calls out that it's a body moisturizer. I haven't used this on my eye yet, but this is what I use on my hands and my feet when I have an eczema breakout, and it is fantastic. It is the most amazing product, in my humble opinion, besides those that are like prescription products for eczema. Like, and I met the founders and the makers and the, people of the brand at Leadership Conference, and like they are just truly the nicest people too. I mean, most brand owners, as they're like up and coming, are, I'm not saying that the bigger brand owners are not, but we see them less, right, at FLC than we might see some of the smaller brand owners. So I feel like my eyeballs are not the same. They never are. It irritates me just a little bit because this one is, I don't know, you guys clearly can see it, right? This one is a little more closed off. I have like a little bit of a lazy eye. I don't know if lazy eye is the right term because it doesn't like wander, and isn't that an indicator of a lazy eye? I don't know, but it is a little bit more like droopy. It's always been that way ever since I was a kid. Ever since I was born, honestly. I cannot look at myself in a picture and not see this lazy, droopy eye thing happening. But this eye is a little bit more droopy and long, and this one is a little bit more open, and it is shorter than this one. So I beat myself up over it all the time, but my eyes never, I think the biggest reason why is because my eyes never look right when I'm looking at a camera. They never look the same. Also, because this eye has like eczema on this inner corner, like it grips onto the makeup just a little bit differently than this eye grips onto the makeup. So it looks like I've got all kinds of color on the inner corner of this eye, but not all kinds of color on the inner corner of this eye. So I'm always trying to like fix it, but I can't ever fix it. But also at the same time, when I get my eye look done, all is well in my world. So like, I don't know why I stress out about it so much, but I mean, it's one of those things, we all have parts of us that we stress out about. Sorry. Oh my gosh, the tangents that I'm going on today. This is all about the makeup, but I'm also going to chat your ear off. The next shade I'm going to go into is this one here, which I believe is called Over It. And it's just it looks like a pinky shimmer shade. And these shimmers aren't super shiny and impactful, right? They are more of a thicker formulation, and they do fall out. Now, that said, as I'm putting it on, you're like, dang, Donna, that is shiny. I thought you said that it wasn't impactful. You're right. It is shiny. It's just not sparkly, right? This day and age, and I mean, just really, truly, any day and age, I am more about a sparkly eyeshadow, and I don't think that these are sparkly, but they are beautiful. That said, they are also really kind of thick. So I think that if you're not used to a thick formula, you probably wouldn't like these because it's more like a thick satin than it is a shimmer. I am going to go into this shade with my pinky finger and just kind of layer that into the inner portions of this and kind of bring it out into that pink color. I'm going to go back in with the brush that I applied the pink shimmer, get a little bit of that gold on there and try and like spread it just a little bit better than what I was able to do with my pinky. I really hate applying eyeshadow with my fingers, but sometimes eyeshadow formulas kind of require it. I do think that I've got a really great blend here. I do think that it looks pretty great. I don't know if you guys can see, and I'm going to try and get super close, but there is a ton of fallout from, it appears, the brown shade. I think it's a little, do you see that? I think it's a little bit of everything. That's definitely the shimmer, and like down here is like a little bit of, but there's a ton of fallout. That said, that doesn't scare me. Like, I don't mind fallout in my shadows. It is what it is. I mean, I was an ABH fan for years, and they're probably the worst when it comes to fallout. And like, as I get more involved in using indie brands, I think that they're also pretty bad for fallout because they're so sparkly and, you know, their formulations are just so different. Fallout doesn't bother me. And what you will see also is that they're not super powdery in the pan. Like, I haven't blown this off or tapped it off or anything like that. They're not powdery in the pan. They're just a little bit thicker of a formula. You're gonna probably see some fallout. And that said, my eyes are done for now. We will come back to them. For primer, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. I knew the chances of me liking the primer were better than the chances of me liking the foundation. So I got the full-size primer and asked them to send me a sample of the foundation, and they switched out my sample of that foundation to something else. So I don't have the foundation, but that's okay because I have another foundation that we're going to use, the Westman Atelier one. But this is the primer that we're going to use, and I'm kind of excited to see how this works because, well, that's interesting. It reminds me of the Blur Jam primer, but, you know, not as thick. I'm interested to see how this works because I have heard actually really good things about this primer, and I'm wondering if it is like the Blur Jam. I feel like I can already see a difference in just the small area that I was able to put the primer onto. Yeah, I feel like you can definitely see a difference. I mean, obviously not with this crazy eye bag that I've got going on, but I do feel like you can see a difference. I mean, am I imagining things? It looks, in my humble opinion, it looks like it is blurring. Like, there's a lot of dry skin like texture I have through here, and I no longer see any of that. So I have really deep rooted like 11s right here, and I will say that it definitely didn't take those away, but all of the like fine lines or texture, I definitely feel like it's done something really magical with, and it didn't really take me much to get it all over my face. I think it would have taken me far less if I was less concentrated on what it looked like and just more concentrated on getting it on my skin. I think it would have taken me less product. It is rather like slippy, but not like silicone feeling slippy. It is wet. It feels kind of cooling, honestly, without like that minty tingle cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. I feel like my skin looks like airbrushed, and it's not like super tacky, but it is a little bit tacky, but not like super tacky. Like the Blur Jam is super tacky, right? I like Blur Jam. I have it. I really have not met a Huda foundation really that I didn't, or a Huda primer that I really didn't like, but I've only tried a handful. as well. So really excited to have this. I feel like it's done a really great job. I mean, let me know what you guys are seeing in the camera. I don't have any filters. I never do anything like that. So the lighting sometimes is a little bit too bright, but I feel like my lighting looks really good today. This says it's a lightweight, soft focused effect, and I definitely feel like this is a soft focus effect to my skin. It's obviously not going to correct like my crazy under eye bags, but I really like it. I think it's beautiful. Okay, so usually my next step is foundation, and for foundation, I have the Westman Atelier. I have Atelier 2. I'm a little worried about the color of this only because I really did think I would be a different color, but when I shade matched myself, this is the color that it shade matched me to. And I feel like, I mean, looking at it, it looks too like orange, but I mean, listen, they know their stuff, right? Such a big component for such a small amount of product to it. And this isn't cheap. I think this is a full size, and I think this was $68, but I've spent that much on foundation before in the past. Not typically a stick foundation kind of person. I do think that I want to go in with a brush for this just because it's a stick foundation, and then we'll go over the top of that brush application with a sponge because I do have a sponge that I bought as well. This is just the Morphe M439, and I am just going to like draw this on my face. I think this might be an okay color match. Watching a lot of the videos that I watched, I did hear that you are, you know, this is not like applying other stick foundations. Like the owner of the brand talks about utilizing these foundation sticks in multiples so that you are applying the foundation in the color that you need it to be in whatever area of your face that you need it to be that color. I love this. It's very lightweight, so for those of us that don't love a full coverage, I do think that this is a really good lightweight foundation. What is this called? Vital Skin Foundation Stick. I love this. This is so pretty. I feel like this is so pretty. And I feel like that was like the perfect shade for me. So their shade matching tool does a really good job. I did buy a new sponge in the Sephora sale. I thought it was an interesting sponge. It's the sponge that I was talking about in my fantasy Sephora card. It's the one size sponge. This is huge. It is wet. This is much bigger than it was when it was dry. But I will say it is different, and I think it'll take a minute to get used to like the feel of it in your hand. I love how big it gets, and I also love just how flat it is. It's just the weirdest thing, but I think I like it a lot. That said, honestly, I don't know if I can tell the difference between how much more I love it from a brush or a sponge perspective. I do think that it is surprisingly a little bit more full coverage with, or a little bit more fuller coverage than the brush side with the sponge. I do think that it covers definitely more. Here you can see some, like, still some peaks of redness on my skin. I don't think that you can see that over here. I do think that I like it either way, though. It doesn't appear like it's more cakey. I don't 100% love stick foundations, but I could see me wearing this stick foundation. I'm going to just build it up in a couple of areas, and then we'll go from there. Upon first impression, I really like this foundation. It's really pretty. And I'll have to try it without that primer. Not that I don't think that it's the $70 foundation that is beautiful, but I will try it without the primer just to see how we're feeling about it with another primer. So next for me is typically concealer, and I did get also the Westman Atelier Vital Skincare Concealer. This one, they said my shade would be Atelier L2. And I mean, they did such an amazing job with the foundation. Let's try the concealer. I remember when I watched Martina talk about this. That looks really good. Talk about this concealer. She said that this was her Holy Grail concealer. I think I maybe put on too much, but we will see. I kind of dig the doe foot. It's like a triangle. I mean, it's like a triangle, which I know, but it's not like it's beefy at the end that's on the stick. A lot like this, right? Oh, P.S. This sponge is going to be a learning curve. It's just a little bit meatier than I'm used to in my hands, so the feel of it is wonky, but I do love the shape of it. Typically let my concealer sit for, 30 seconds or so, and then I will take my fingers and start to work it in and blend it out. I feel like that was so easy, like it was almost wrong. I feel like it also might not be the right shade. It is a little bit different in tone here, but maybe that's just because my nose didn't get covered as well with the foundation. So I will go in with some more foundation right there, but I think that you guys can see that. It maybe doesn't need to sit there for as long as I let it sit there, which tells me that I need to hurry up and get this eye done. So here's what I'll say about this. I really think that did a lot for my under eyes and the discoloration. And whereas I thought that maybe it was the wrong color, I think I maybe just let it sit too long and it dried down a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. Because when I went over it with a sponge, it looks to have blended a lot better. I wear glasses, so these two spots on my nose are indented. They're always going to be red. That is just the nature of me being a glasses wearer, but I really do love the way this looks, and I love what it did for my under eyes. So now going back into under eyes, the first thing I'm going to do is use this. I did buy the Kosas Cloud Set Powder in Candy. I like the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. I have it for my full face in Featherly, I think it is. And I think that it's just a really beautiful powder. So I did want to purchase the pink one because I do love the pink powders for my under eyes. I know that a lot of people don't love these Kosas Cloud Set powders because they feel like they go bad super quickly, but I've had my Featherly in my collection for a very long time and it's not went bad on me yet. So I'm just going to take a clean puff. Well, clean on one side. We'll dab it in. We'll get some product on here. I usually put it also onto my hand so that I don't have too much powder on the puff when I go into my under eye. Do I feel like that blurred? I do. We'll see it over here. Maybe more. Again, it's my wonky eye. It's just not the same all around. I feel like it blurred it. I feel like it definitely helped with the coloring, and I feel like it blurred it. Yes, you can see it, but you're always going to be able to see it. There's nothing that I can do about that. So that is what I bought this for. I do like the other one, so I know that I will like this one as well. and I love the color on me. It looks fab. So now that we're done with like eyes entirely, as far as the makeup, the base makeup around it, I am going to go back into the shadows that I was playing with. I'm going to build this one into the lower lash line and then build the dark brown on top of that. I will take my liner and do my tie line, my liquid liner, do my liquid liner line, and then we will move on. Eyes besides mascara are done. So next we're going to go into bronzer contour, and this is the Westman Atelier Petite Face Trace Contour Stick. This is just a mini. Listen, you don't need full-size bronzers and blushes or anything like that. You really don't. I have so many in my collection, and you just don't need the full size. Before I move on, I also purchased the House Labs Triclone Skin Tech Concealer. I got mine in the shade 04 Fair Neutral. I did purchase this because I used it in my Turn and Burn, which I'm not really sure when that's going to go up. You guys will see. I loved that concealer. So this is just the petite size. This is a mini, and you really don't need a full size. This is the shade Biscuit, I do believe. Yeah, this is the shade Biscuit. I do think that this is probably a better contour shade for me than it is a bronzer shade, but that's okay. We're going to kind of see how it works today. I usually put on my cream contour with a brush, so I am going to use a brush today because it is typically what I use. I might use the one that I use for foundation to blend it out, but I am going to put it on my face and try to blend it with a different brush first. Yeah, I would say that this is more probably a contour shade, but sometimes I don't mind contour shades on me also as bronzers because of my skin tone. So we're going to set that aside and we're going to just kind of pounce over the top of this. Yeah, I think that's pretty. For me, this is definitely going to end up being a contour shade, and I think that that is what it is called anyways, right? This is the Face Trace Contour Stick, so it's definitely a straight up contour, at least in this shade for me. I am not gonna fault it because I do really, really like it as a contour shade. I think it's beautiful, seamlessly blended in with my skin. Am I going to be in love with a brand that is so dang expensive nobody should be in love with it? Maybe, because this is beautiful. What I am gonna use as a bronzer over the top, I'm gonna use my Hourglass bronzer, this guy here, just cause pretty bronzer, and I think it will complement this contour stick quite nicely, actually. I didn't even think about the other two products being cream and how that's going to work out over the top of this powder bronzer, but I think it should be okay. The next product I have is a blush. So I did get this kit. This is the Westman Atelier Petite Edition, Petite Fete Edition, and it's got a blush, a highlight, and a mascara. So we're going to do the blush, the highlight, and the mascara today. We're going to see how we like them. The blush is in Bubble, and it is just a really beautiful, like, I think berry pink. I think it's probably not the right color of blush for this eye look, if I'm honest with you. But that's okay. We're going to roll with it anyways. I am just going to use this IT Cosmetics double-ended brush. And I'm going to go over the top of that blush. Wow, that is a lot. I maybe got too much. So, yeah, I maybe got too much. We're going to take it over here too. I definitely think that this is the wrong color for today. I should have thought about that. This would be a perfect color for my full face of monochromatic. My monochromatic full face, purples. I don't know, that blended out quite nicely. I do still think that it is the wrong shade for today. So bear with, because this isn't going to look right. It's too cool toned, I think, for today's eye look. But I definitely think it did a really good job of, look at that, just blended out so nicely. Over on this side, I just need to do a little bit more blending over here. I think I got way too much on the brush, and this was the first side that I went to, so it looks just a little bit more heavy on this side, but I do like it. I feel like it's got a little bit of a like a shiftiness to it, almost like a gold, like ribbon-ish going through it. Yeah, I like that. I think that it blended out really well. I think that it's very luminous, that it brings life to the skin, and I think that you will see that it's got a little bit of like goldiness to it, like maybe just a little slight hint of shimmer to it, but it is pretty. And again, that is in the shade Bubble. It is not the shade that I should have worn with this eye look. It looks to me, it looks like I don't know what I'm doing. I do know what I'm doing. Okay, the last thing as far as face goes, because I didn't buy powder, I don't often wear powder, is a highlight, and this highlight is in the shade Toast. It does look a little bit deep, honestly, for me, for my skin tone, but when I put it on the back of my hand, it's not, and then like sheer it out, it's just kind of this like goldy shade to it, and I do think that it will go really good with the blush that I have on right now, because the blush has a little bit of gold to it as well. So, and what I love about this is it's not like glittery, right? It's pretty and it's impactful without being glittery. Like, that's pretty. I'm thrown off by the blush, but it's got to be okay. It's got to be okay, because it's got to be okay. The blush is just not the right color for this eye look. It is what it is. The last Westman Atelier product I have is this, which is the little tiny mascara that came in here. And this mascara is called I Want You. It's an I Want You mascara. And the wand looks like a Christmas tree. It's not my typical first love of mascara ones, but we are going to try this. I'll let you know in this on the screen right here if this ended up bothering my eyes, because fragrant mascaras typically do bother my eyes. I mean, it's okay. It's not a mascara that I think upon like first application that I love. It's definitely going to be one that I need to build up. I like to get like a lot of volume out of my mascaras, and I'm not sure that this is doing that for me. So second coat, I don't know that I like this, honestly. I am also a Bad Gal Bang / FanFest fan. Truly, those are my favorites. And I like to layer them. So I can see this one maybe being a problem if I'm not layering it with something else to give me a little bit more oomph. But I really don't feel like this is doing anything for my lashes immediately. Like, I'm not seeing any kind of length or volume. Let me put on another coat. I don't know that I love this mascara. I will tell you this too. I don't love the mini packaging. Like, I understand wanting to stay branded with the packaging for your minis versus your full size, but this is far too fat and small, so stout, So it's hard to hold on to, honestly. I don't know about that mascara. I don't think that I love it all that much, if I'm honest with you. I am going to use the 24-hour brow setter in my brows. This is also not new, but is holy grail status for me. Okay, now the last but not least is a lipstick. I did buy the Merit Signature Lip, and my lips feel really nice right now because of that Clarins lip oil. This is their lightweight lipstick. I believe it's a satin lipstick. I've heard really great things about the formula of Merit lipsticks, so I did want to try it. So I did get it in the shade Baby, and this is the shade that I picked up. I think that this is a really good shade for the eye look today. Not necessarily the blush, but the blush is whatever it is, whatever. I don't know if this is going to require a lip liner or no, but if I'm honest with you, I always use a lip liner. What we're going to do is, because the lip liner that I have is not a new lip liner and I've used a lot of not new items today, I am going to put this on without a lip liner and see how I feel about it. It might just be too creamy. Who knows? I don't think that that is as nude as I thought it was going to be, but like orangey nude or brownie nude as I thought it was going to be. But that is beautiful, and that was so easy to put on and is a super comfortable feeling for formulation as well. And I don't feel like it is exacerbating any kind of like texture in my lips. I do feel like, just because I am the way I am with my lips, I do feel like I want to put a lip line in here. I sometimes put a lip line on after the fact. It's not very often. I don't necessarily think that this formula requires, you know, a lip liner, in that I don't think that it is so creamy that it's going to move around on you. All right, I am going to pop off camera, zhuzh my hair, come back to you, talk about this makeup, and then we will let you go. I don't really know if I am disappointed that I like the products or happy. I mean, obviously I'm happy. I spent money on these things, so obviously it does bring me joy that I do like them as much as I do. Forgive the hair. I took a shower and my hair is still kind of wet and just really has no like body or anything to it, and it is what it is. Like, that's how it's gonna, I don't put heat on my hair, so at least I don't have like, you know, sometimes when you put your hair back in something, like you have that like dent in your hair. Like, at least it doesn't have that. That's a plus. So I am pleased that I spent money and it was well spent, and I love this product, or these products. I can say, like, I really do love the foundation. I feel like the foundation is sitting on my skin just as if there was no foundation at all on my skin. And I think that that is honestly what a foundation should be. I think that that is honestly what a foundation should be. So I feel like I can say the same for the contour and the blush and the highlight. I think that, you know, these products just become one with your skin and just look like natural. It looks like I'm not wearing foundation, and beyond the fact that there is color on my cheeks, I, when looking in a mirror, could not place where the contour is or where the blush is or where the highlighter is based on the appearance of the product on my skin. So, and I think that that's the way it should be. The eyeshadow, I think, is beautiful. I know that I wouldn't go out of my way to purchase a quad from anywhere, if I'm honest with you. I do think that this is beautiful, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. I think it went together quite nicely, and I think it looks really good. This quad was very well formulated and is a really great color story, honestly, for like a travel eyeshadow palette. I also think that the concealer honestly blended out so beautifully, and I was a little bit afraid at first because I feel like you definitely could see the difference between it and my foundation on my nose. I do think that it is a concealer that you maybe have to work a little bit faster with than I remember having to work with any of my other concealers. I don't like the mascara. I don't like it. It just doesn't do enough for me. Like, yes, I can see my lashes. Yes, I can see that there's a little bit of umphiness to them that wasn't there like before I put the mascara on, but I don't like it. I really do like my FanFest and my Bad Gal Bang, and I think it would be, any mascara is hard pressed to compete with those two mascaras. I also don't love that this mascara is fragranced, but I will tell you that like Lancome mascaras are super fragranced, and I can smell the fragrance from those mascaras all day long. They bother my eyes, they bother my nose all day long. I can smell the fragrance from those mascaras. I will say I no longer, and it's only been, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes since I put that mascara on, for me anyways, maybe not for you guys, but I don't feel like I can smell that mascara anymore. So the smell does dissipate. I will be interested to see how my eyes react to it throughout the day and for the rest of the day, because the Lancome ones, I can't use the Lancome ones. They bother my eyes a lot. I love this lipstick. I think that the color is really good for me. I also think that it feels so nice on my lips. Like, it's such a comfortable lipstick. To me, it feels a lot like I am usually a person that will lay down a lip liner and then put a gloss or an oil over the top of it. And for me, this lipstick feels very much like that feels. So I really do like this lipstick. They weren't lying when they said Merit's formula for lipsticks was really, really good. It is really, really good upon first impressions. Now I'm going to see how long this lasts on me and go from there. But I do really like this lipstick. I have a lot of Charlotte Tilbury and I have a lot of Natasha. Well, not a lot. I have quite a few Charlotte Tilbury and I have a few Natasha Denona. Those two are my holy grails right now. I remember Becca back in the day was one of my favorites, and I still have a couple of Becca lipsticks, honestly, as part of my collection. This rivals those and either is on the same playing field or maybe slightly better. I like the Kosas powder. I especially like this pink powder because I don't feel like I can see it on my under eyes, which I sometimes feel like I can see the Huda one on my under eyes, and I feel maybe that is because it is a loose powder and I am just not the best with loose powders. But I really do like this Kosas one. I like Kosas powders in the first place. This sponge was awesome, but it is going to take a learning curve. It is quite large. I'm going to see if I can't get a picture of me holding it up next to this one of it dry so that you guys can see how small it is when it is dry. I maybe will forget to take that picture, but that is what I'm hoping that I can do for you. That said, that is it. That is all I have for you. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Have you tried any of these products? I would be interested to hear from you down in the comment section if you have tried Westman Atelier in the past. I'm really excited to have so many Westman Atelier products in my collection and really excited that I loved almost all of them. The only one that I don't love so much is the mascara. Everything else I just feel like is beautiful. So there's that. My hair is going to drive me nuts, so I need to get off of here. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you all are safe and healthy and getting along as best that you can. I hope that you are all loving each other, being kind humans, and living your best life. And until next time, bye friends.